Sit. Nicholas.
Nodding disease. Gentlemen, I have been reading a book called Gideon's Spies, the Secret History of the Mossad by a guy called Gordon Thomas. Now, in that book, it talks about espionage, intelligence, terrorism, and all those things. One of the things that is intriguing most intelligence organizations and most nations now is the issue of biological, chemical, and germ warfare. Now, after reading that book and I look at the situation, you've heard of some of these people like Dr. Death in South Africa. There were the scientists, the Nazi scientists, and so on. And in fact, when after the Nazis were defeated, some of those scientists were even imported into by the Jews to sort of create these sort of weapons. Now, one of the things that most of these people are doing in their research is to find genes that are specific to certain ethnicities. You know, you're black people and this gene is specific to you, and something can be created to finish just a particular set of people. Now, when I look at this nodding disease thing of we are calling in scientists to discuss health and what, that angle worries me. What is so specific and peculiar about the Acholi people in northern Uganda that is not anywhere else in Uganda?
Well, experts told us yesterday.
No, wait. The same experts, we don't forget about these experts. There are people who have come from America, you know.
But there are people in America, in New York, who apparently are experiencing very similar symptoms to those in northern Uganda. Have you heard about this?
No, I hadn't.
So I'm saying the experts from the disease center for disease have come and they say they don't understand what is happening. So for me, what I think is that it's time we called in security people instead of medical doctors to look at that disease and tell us what exactly is happening.
But you seem to be implying that somebody has rigged the situation.
It is possible,
to wipe out
and that person,
Ugandans. But we're seeing people in New York State right now who are undergoing
and that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Symptoms.
That's what I'm telling you. Yes, that is exactly what I'm telling you, John. That's what I'm telling you, John.
15 people have died already.
That's what I'm telling you, John. All countries are looking at this problem very, very, very critically. What if there's, you remember the underground attack in the UK? You know all these anthrax letters that have been sent all over the place.
And polonium-210.
And polonium-210. It is something you have to, and I'm not saying that it is this government. No. Someone might come and try it out here. This country has been under the threat of terrorism
I hear you.
for very many years. You know what happened in Lugogo. We don't want to lose our people.
I hear you. But there is a situation, Ugandan children are being tethered to trees like goats. The response to those that are already victims is what we should be asking of our government and of ourselves.
Just seem to understand what if we are tethering children like that, it means if this disease spreads all over the country, we might even tether adults as well. You get my point? So it is something that has to be looked at critically, not only as a medical problem, but also as a security problem.
Gentlemen,
and every country normally looks at every situation from a security angle. So when some people begin to say, like in an analysis, say that when a cow somewhere lack of water, there is a disaster, and the budget is made, and when some children, they say we are tribalists, but these things evoke such emotions. People love their children. If you rich people think because your children have everything and they play with the toys of 10 million, please let the children of the poor also survive. Have some humanity. What's happening? People are driving to Colorado, they're not bothered, and they think they're running this government, public service and what. It's what annoys me. Where is the humanity in these so-called big people? We have rich people in Uganda without any class. All they see is money for nonsense.
Fully agree.
Completely. This is even just charity. Where is charity in Uganda? You steal from them, you have invested from them, you even have nothing to use for the money. They are suffering. I don't hear anyone coming out.
The parliamentarians in this country seem to think that having a new vehicle is somehow going to buy them class. And as Chris has just pointed out, it doesn't.
Well, there's no Acholi parliamentary group, and the Acholi parliamentary group, in my view, would have led by example by saying, as a group of representatives of the affected people, we are not accepting the money for these vehicles until the money to deal with these children has been found.
No, it will not even stop the money from being spent. That's the problem with that analysis.
No, it wouldn't stop, but at least they would have made a statement.
But the point is, whether it is biological, whether you want to do what, you will never make Acholi extinct. The people called Acholi will survive. That's how God made it. You will try, you get it tired, you will die, and Acholi will remain.
Chris, what are you implying?
Whatever, because you are neglecting it. If you leave Acholi to die, what are you talking about?
Well, the Minister of Health said they had found internally 1.1
so
billion.
obsessed with these
No.
ministries,
Ministers are just survivors. They're waiting for allowances.
They have announced that they found 1.1 billion. We need to watch and make sure that
They
money
found it
also
from
doesn't go
where?
west.
Where they hidden it? In their bedrooms.
Gentlemen, we will bring this short one.
means why do you bring the short one?
No. I'm saying we will bring the short
You
one
never eliminated particular group
by
in this
taking
world.
the discussion down South Africa.
Eliminated particular group. of people.
Chris, down South Africa. Ona, you've been watching the situation with Julius Malema.
I don't know whether I've been watching. You see, I think the problem with the NC is that South Africa is supposed to be a sophisticated country. And sophisticated democracies, economies don't have individuals taking on a party and then getting expelled. Those are things typical of these one-party states and what have you. I mean, everything should be resolved through elections. If Malema has support, then he should take on Zuma, and whoever wins should, so long as it's peaceful, should be the one the people want. But I see them now degenerating to typical African politics of expelling people and doing what, and that is worrying for South African politics. It doesn't mean that Malema is right, but the most important thing is there must be elections to resolve everything. They have, like you're seeing in the US now, among the Republicans, they have primaries, they have what, you get knocked out. You have extremist views like Newt Gingrich, they knock you out. And the liberals remain. But there is no process of knocking out extremists like Malema. There is no process that has knocked him out. It's just a wish of a minority committee. They knock him out.
But just as a reaction to Malema,
in the history of JNC, there is suspensions and
yeah, but I'm saying that was guerrilla.
Just as a reaction to Malema is typical of African politics. The life that Malema led as a politician, and merging that with business interests,
he's only
is also very reflective African politics.
He's only 31 years old, born in abject poverty, doesn't know his father. His mother died some years back, but there is a book about an inconvenient youth.
But clearly he suffers from blind ambition, and I think that spells trouble
But
ahead.
he's one of the billionaires in South Africa, actually dollar millionaires in South Africa. Nick, Mandela was taken into hospital the other day. The country is tense because of what might happen to Mandela. He's not playing any role, but he remains there as a symbol. And Julius Malema is emerging with a new ANC in New South Africa. What does the future look like for you? What lessons from there?
My biggest fear is, like my colleagues have talked about, this typical African politics of personalization, you know. There's nothing so unique that Malema has done. First of all, he has very primitive instincts. He's very violent in his outlook. There's nothing conciliatory about him. You've heard about the songs he sings and all that. One of the problems with this kind of populist politics is exactly what is happening to him. He's a victim of the same sort of politics that he has been propagating, you know. Finish these people, kill these ones, do that. If you are such a person who does not believe in entities and systems and institutions, somehow you'll get swallowed up by the same sort of process that you create.
Chris, the stage at which Mandela is, and the emergence of Malema and the New South Africa, or the dream of a New South Africa.
The disadvantage I have that Malema's actions can be interpreted differently. I don't so much follow the South African politics, but how I wish we had a Malema in NRM here. Sometimes they are very good. They are very good catalysts of change. What's happening in South Africa is what we were trying to say before, that black man seems to think class means having property. But class goes beyond property. So we have so many property black people. Some of them are richer than even the rich people in the Europe. But their black men have no class. You know, class comes with a lot of how you treat people, the dignity. You can't see stinking areas and you are passing and you call yourself rich and the place has garbage flowing. This is the kind of black Africa we have. And that leadership of watching a stink there is up to the top. If only the white men in South Africa did not go into race separation. If they just gave African services and what, it would have been better for South Africa to be under the white rule than this elevation of black greed, which has no humanity at all. What we see in Africa is greed. What we see in the NRM is greed. And that greed everybody has. The difference between the white man's greed is that they also have a class. Some of them think they make it themselves, and they feel happy to see you talk about endowments. Makerere University will be having so many endowments because people have nothing to use their money for. They're in pillows. Yet students need infrastructure. No one can do it. So the lack of class in Africa is what we see in South Africa. You see it in northern Uganda. Children are nodding. Guys are busy.
Well, Chris, we got to bring the show to an end. But what you're talking about, class and
they are also nodding in the parliament. NRM caucus nodding.
Hold it, Chris. I've been reading a book by some Ugandan former journalist called Zostin Kiongozi from the moon via Hyde Park. He comes from Kasese, and he went to do Cheyo in London, and he has harrowing experiences that he talks about. So that debate about class also can be debated to a very other different level if we continue the discussion. Thank you very much, Chris Obore, for making time for the show. Thank you very much, John, for making time for the show. Thank you very much, Ona Peter, for making time for the show, and thank you very much to Nicholas for making time for the show. Thank you very much, of course, to you all our listeners for joining us tonight and always, and to Nile Gold for sponsoring the show, and Ban Cafe for the coffee that we have during these debates. Like I said, a copy of the Saturday Monitor is already out on the street. Pick up your copy and read lots of packages for people interested in football, people interested in full woman and other things. You find them in the newspaper there. And that story which we didn't discuss, the holding hostage of these 9 Ugandan parliamentarians.
They have abducted them. They have no useful here. We have said
to all our listeners.
The hottest debate on all relevant topics, live every evening, 7 to 8 p.m. KFM Hot Seat in association with Nile Gold, a crystal malt lager beyond an ordinary malt.